Well, you have your writing assignment now. The professor might have given you your topic, or you might be able to choose it yourself, but either way, you have between 500 and 2,500 words to write, and you have no idea where to start. No problem, calm down. We'll go through a 3-step process that will help you come up with ideas, shape them into categories, and outline those ideas so you can start writing that paper. Let's get started. Before you can start writing your paper, you have to come up with ideas to write about. Brainstorming is the best way to start coming up with ideas for what to write, and there are lots of ways to brainstorm. We'll just cover a few quickly, and you can use these or come up with a brainstorming method of your own. One brainstorming method is the mind map. Basically, you put a word or phrase in the center of the page, large and colorful. Then you branch out from there, writing words that you feel are related and connected, words that might help you come up with ideas for paragraphs or paper topics. Keep building until you have a page full of words and ideas that relate to your topic. There's no one right way to do the mind map, but if your paper looks like it should be pinned up on the office wall of an obsessed detective solving an old crime, you're probably on the right track. Sometimes you don't know what you want to talk about, but you definitely know what you don't want to talk about. Build off of that then. Make a list of the most obvious ideas, the ones other people might do, the ones that don't interest you. Now, look at that list and start making a list of opposites. You don't like talking about the origin or history of something? Figure out a way to talk about its future. Knowing what you don't want can help you figure out what you do want. This is when you just let your pen or pencil loose on the page or your fingers loose on the keyboard. You're not trying to write the paper yet, you're just writing anything that comes into your mind about the subject. A lot of it won't be usable, and some of it will probably be gibberish, but it will help get the creative juices flowing. If you know your subject, like say Greek culture, you could narrow your search down by putting Greek culture into a search engine and then looking at titles and results. Don't open the links, just look at what's on the search page and jot down anything that strikes your interest. Once you have a list of ideas, you can go back to do full research on the topics that are the most interesting to you. Just start asking away. There's no such thing as a dumb question, so start writing down all the questions you can think of about your subject. Questions need answers. So while you're writing, be thinking about the answers, and that will help you choose which topics you want to cover in your paper and which questions you want to answer. Okay, enough of that. You have pages full of notes and you look like a crazy person. Let's organize this chaos. It's time to break your ideas down into categories that are related, so you can see if you have enough information in each category to make a subject paragraph with. One way is to take a paper and create columns for each category. For Greek sculpture, you can make categories like style, artist, process materials, history, etc. Then write each of your ideas on one of those lists. The same function can be served by getting a few different colored highlighters and highlighting ideas that fit into the same category. Now, you have a color-coded breakdown of the ideas for your paper. And if you need them a little more separated in order to process them, you can make individual note cards for each category and write ideas on them. All of these methods help you to divide up your ideas by category. Okay. Now you have a bunch of chunks of information. We have to take those chunks and shape a paper with them. That's where the outline comes in. This is the basic shape of an outline. An outline has 3 major pieces: introduction, subject paragraphs, and conclusion. Here's a quick breakdown of each one. This is the first part of the paper, and it does what its name hints at. It introduces your subject and your perspectives on that subject. It also includes the thesis sentence, the most important sentence in your paper. But the thesis sentence discussion is for another video. After the introduction come the subject paragraphs. Here, you'll be dividing all your information up by the specific subjects, with each subject getting its own dedicated paragraph. Depending on the length of your paper, you might have as few as 2 or as many as 5 or 6 subject paragraphs. And finally, your conclusion. This is where you summarize the point of your paper, as well as restate the thesis. That means mentioning the same information that you mentioned in the thesis, but not using the exact same words to do it. And that's it. You've taken that enormous heap of information and made an outline worthy of being shaped into a paper. So take 15 seconds to congratulate yourself and then get to work on that paper. For more detailed information or one-on-one help, feel free to come down to the Communications Center, Building 4 in the Academic Success Center, Room 120.